Welcome to Sprout Central. I'm Dennis Tynes. I'm your host. And this is season 2 of Sprout Central. We had a great time doing season 1. We had a lot of really interesting and informative guests on. We had the human optimization expert Robbie D'Angelo on, artist Julia Reyes. We had musicians and business people that offered our community great ideas about how to make a living doing what you love. And at Sprout, here's our motto. We help you take your dreams and we build a community. And that's what we're trying to do, is build a community of people that are willing to reach out and help each other, because all ships rise with the tide. Last season, we talked about how to write a business plan. And I hope you watched, I hope you followed along, and I hope you wrote a business plan, because this season we're going to fund some businesses. We have a special concept called Sprout Garden, where we're going to help some people go from concept to reality, and we're going to start businesses. So we're going to have some really interesting guests on this season who want to start businesses, and we're going to have a lot of public figures on again, and people to give you great ideas about not only how to improve your life, but how to improve your income, your family's income, by adding income streams. So I hope you watch along this season as we're going to continue helping people write business plans and come up with great concepts. And I hope you watch along as we fund some of these businesses and start some new businesses in our community, because that's what we're doing at Sprout Central on the Sprout Garden. We're going to do as many episodes as we have to do to get the job done. So season 2 might be long. Watch along every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. All right, we're here with a special Sprout alert. Congress has not passed the stimulus package yet, but they're going to. And Sprout wants to help your business absolutely free of charge. If you need help with Paycheck Protection Loan, if you need help with the Economic Disaster Impact Loan, or anything else to do with helping your business survive during these hard times, Sprout wants to help you. So call us or email us or go to sprout.fund and just send us a message and let us help you help your business survive. Thank you. And we're back. Season 2, episode 1 of Sprout Central. This season we're doing our Sprout Garden thing, and we're going to fund some businesses, as many as we can. But I got some bad news for you folks at home. If you're a fan of Joey, well, he's not here today. He gave me some sketchy excuse and told me to bring in the guest co-host. But our guest co-host is awesome. He's the captain of Street Team 6, and he's going to tell you all about that. One of the hardest working guys on the Gulf Coast, Connor Snyder. Connor, welcome to the show, man.
It's great to be here. So what's on the itinerary for today?
That's right. Connor always wants to know what's going on, because Connor's my right arm when it comes to the marketing part of Sprout, which we call the Street Team 6. So he wants to know what are we doing here. He didn't even get to come to rehearsal. He came straight from another job. Connor, you're a busy guy, right?
I am.
What do you do? What's your typical day like?
Well, in the morning I wake up, and about 8 o'clock I like to start my morning a little late. Not very traditional, but it is what it is. I wake up around 8 and start charting stuff for the stock market, look at the plays I'm going to make, and I try not to do the too volatile ones. I try to play it safe in some aspects, but
so you're a trader.
Yes, I am. From 8:30 to 10, I'm a trader.
Right.
The other percent of my day, I'm usually working with you at 10 o'clock from 1 to 3. From 10 to 3 almost, I'm usually working for you, and we're out marketing.
So this whole Street Team 6 thing, I mean, you know, a lot of people don't really know about Street Team 6. How would you describe it, what we do with the Street Team?
Oh, we're basically an in-person, face-to-face, I wouldn't say marketing agency, I would say
team, right?
Team, absolutely. More of a team.
We were talking about team building today earlier, you and I, about some future projects and what types of teams we have to build.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we're trying to recruit people that have an uncommon drive, you know, because it really does take a lot to not only work another job, but get out there and really talk to people. And that's huge, and we're definitely looking for people to fill those positions.
So in your spare time, Connor,
Gotcha.
you're not sitting on the video games.
Definitely
You're not,
not.
watching the Netflix and that sort of thing. You're always coming up with ways to make money and kind of grow personally. I noticed that about you from the very beginning. What are some of the other things that you do for money? I know you work with the street team. We're going to talk
Gotcha.
a lot about that, but let's find out a little bit more about you. You also you have a lot of people that kind of work for you, or kind of like an employment agency almost.
Yeah,
Of young sharp people, right?
absolutely. Some people actually call me the human Indeed, but that's just
The human what?
Indeed.
The human Indeed.
Yeah, ZipRecruiter, those type of apps.
ZipRecruiter.
And I usually
yeah.
people that I think have really good qualities and skills and that could be an asset to different types of companies. I like to keep them around and keep them employed. Like Aries, this is his second year doing the Street Team 6, and he's really developed as a person through the team bonding, and he's really able to explore his capabilities.
So how old of a guy are you, Connor?
I'm only 18.
18. So, and I've known you a year, so I met you when you were 17 years old. I was very impressed with you and offered you some mentorship, because I noticed that you offer other people mentorship. You don't have to be 50 or 60 to be a mentor. Everybody can be a mentor. Okay, and I'm very impressed with that. So let's talk about Street Team 6, a face-to-face encounter marketing team. How is that? I mean, why do we need that? We have social media.
Well, there's a big difference between social media and in-person personal marketing. So on social media, if you see an ad, you're most likely just going to scroll past it. I mean, if it says sponsored at the top, you already know you're just going to scroll right past it. Well, you can't really ignore that in person. If you have a real tangible flyer and I give it to you, you're going to have to look at that. Even if it's to throw it away, you're going to be influenced by that.
Right.
And that's really what our business model is. We like to really personally connect, and not just advertisements sent to 10,000 people on Facebook.
Right.
You know, we really get out there, and it's just a different type of drive.
Right. So you're connecting with people on a personal level, one-on-one, just like, person after person after person, and then offering maybe an enhancement to the social media to where, oh yeah, check us out on Facebook, or go to get our discount off of.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
wherever.
absolutely. And now you not only have your traditional social media, but you have this other enhanced, like you said, form of marketing, and it's twofold: your coverage, your market coverage. So it's really great. We worked on a lot of politicians' campaigns, and we helped to get them elected.
Right.
A lot of top names in the state, and we went to tons of neighborhoods, and we brought these flyers around and put it on your door,
So did you talk to the people and maybe ask them who they were voting for, or when they were? What did you do to make sure that you connected with the people?
That's a great question, because COVID really disrupted that. So last year when we were doing our elections, we were able to knock on the door, and we would talk to people and ask them, who are you voting for? Do you know about their policies? And the app that we used was really, really good, and we were able to survey each person and try to explain to them things that they don't get from the main social media.
Yeah, I've heard about a lot of these, candidates have always told me this, that they have trouble with, giving people a big giant stack of flyers and later on finding them in the garbage, and they paid somebody to do nothing. I think that kind of Street Team 6 gives these candidates the confidence, just because of the reputation that the job's going to be done, that the people are actually going to be talked to, and as many people visited as possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Since this is an in-person kind of a company, the client actually has an opportunity to meet with these people that are going to be representing them.
Right.
And I think that's really important, because I mean, you want to know who you're being represented by, and you want to
That's
keep an
exactly
image.
right. And we sit down with our business owners, the Sprout clients. We help Sprout clients to be successful, to help them get the word out. If they're having a sale or an event, things like that, Street Team 6 will go around for you and pass out some flyers and talk to people and go, hey, did you hear about what's going on down at the, at the business this weekend? So that's something that if you want to talk about how Street Team 6 works and what, how we could help you, you can go to sprout.fund, or you can call Sprout. Give us a call and just ask us what's going on. We want to hear from you.
And that's an interesting concept because most corporate companies, they'll have corporate to do their marketing, advertising, and they just pay them. Well, not all of these tiny small businesses and entrepreneurs have that type of corporate opportunity for marketing. So they're stuck in a position where they have their business set up, they have their business plan written from last season. Well, let's talk about what the next step is, and that's marketing.
Right.
So you have your social media marketing, and if it's not pulling in enough people, if your business model is something like a politician where you need to be more personal, that's where we step in, and that's where
Right. And very flexible with how we want to help people, and
Absolutely.
you like helping people as well. That's why you're the Street Team 6 captain, and we're very flexible on how we are compensated and that sort of thing for the marketing part. Let's switch gears to real quick because Clarence is telling me we're going to have to wrap up our segment, and you're the guest co-host. And so here's the thing, Joey and I have been having this sock competition, and so since Joey's not here, I decided, it's going to be an opportunity for me to get one up on him on season 2 and win the sock competition. So I just want to have to show my, see, we've got Clarence I have on the R2D2 socks, courtesy of our director from last season, Jonah Monet. She came in and did a show, and then asked to be the director of the, she offered to help. She didn't ask to be the director. That's not exactly, oh, there's Jonah directing. Jonah and I are friends and have helped each other, and she offered to help Sprout Central. Let's see do we have any other pictures of Jonah? I think maybe she's in a movie right there, playing a welder or something. She's probably about to get into a fight with that welder. Oh, there she is, and definitely in a movie. So anyway, Jonah Monet, I want a big shout out to her, and thank you, Jonah, for stepping in and helping make Sprout Central a better television show. You've done a great job so far. And I'll declare myself the winner today of the sock competition because Joey's not here.
Hold on there,
Joey?
Dennis. Hold on there, Dennis.
What, Connor?
Well, Joey actually called me this morning, and he figured you would play a little trick and you would try to get a one up on him.
Joey.
So, of course, I had to rock the better Star Wars character, BB-8.
Man, looking at this on camera, I would call that a draw, except for yours actually looked better on the camera. So I guess Joey, it's one for Joey, and the sock competition is on. Did corporate have anything to do with that, by the way? Where did you get those socks, man? I just want to know if
Corporate actually flew a private jet in this morning to deliver these socks to me.
That's
Joey.
Opulent corporate. That's a waste of money just to beat me in the sock competition. So hold on, Joey's not here. There's a guest co-host, and Joey's in league with corporate to beat me in the sock competition?
Yep.
That's fishy, folks. I don't know. What else is going on, Clarence? How much time do we have left? Okay, so look, we're going to be right back with an awesome guest today. I didn't mention our guest or introduce our guest yet, but we're going to have Mark and Madison Talley. Put up their picture, Clarence. Let's have a look. Who we're going to see. From Tall Architects. They're the business right next door here on Government Street in beautiful downtown Ocean Springs. I'm a huge fan of theirs. They've done some amazing work, and they know a lot about, we're going to show that one later. Let's show a picture of them, Clarence. They know a lot about what's going on in the community. So I want to know what's going on in the community. And we're going to talk to, there we go, they're Tall Architects. You can see we have a better picture of them too, but we're gonna talk to them about what's going on in the community and what's it like to be an architect. So stick around. We'll be right back after this.
Let's meet Dr. Lauren Timmons. Dr. Lauren Timmons, practicing dentistry here in Ocean Springs. Welcome to
Thank you.
the show. Now, let's talk about the machine that allows you to do an implant and a new tooth in one visit.
Okay, there's two parts. There's a 3D X-ray machine, which is relatively new to dentistry. We take a 3D X-ray and we're able to design the implants in a three-dimensional X-ray. And then there is a CEREC machine, which we're able to mill out and design crowns to go on top of those implants.
And so literally a person can break the tooth off, come in, have the tooth extracted, have a new implant put in and the tooth screwed in, and walk out with a new tooth in the same day.
Correct, with the crown on the implant in one visit.
That would have been considered probably a miracle 10 years ago. Right?
Impossible.
Impossible.
Right.
Well, thank you for being here in Ocean Springs with us, and I hope everyone will come to see Dr. Lauren Timmons in Ocean Springs.
Thank you, Ed.
Edward St. Pé with Nathan Prescott
Hi.
from Law Focus. Hello, Nathan.
Hey.
Law Focus, we have it every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and then again a repeat performance at 6 p.m.
Sure.
So tell us, what is Law Focus all about?
Well, Law Focus is sort of self-explanatory, and it is a show focused on the law, but an ancillary sort of arm to that is that Law Focus involves the law in you. It involves how the law affects your day-to-day life. Through the shows, we've addressed the Landlord-Tenant Act, we've addressed trademarks, copyrights, constitutionality of issues, criminal issues, and even current events that exist in the law with different types of things that come up. So anything that involves the law and affects you is fair game for Law Focus, and we're proud of that, and we try to put out new product a good bit.
Well, it's a situation that affects everyone. The law affects everybody, and we're happy to have this program. Thank you for being with us every week on Law Focus. That's Law Focus every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and again at 6 p.m. on Ocean 7.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back, and thank you for having us in your home today. Today we have an exciting guest. We wanted to know what's going on in the economy, who's building what, who's doing what, especially here in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, our little secret coast. And today we have Madison and Mark Talley from Tall Architects on the show. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us, Dennis.
It's kind of far away, or I'd give you the Sprout Central DAP, but consider yourself dapped.
We've been down.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
So, thank you for coming on the show. And Tall Architects. You know, I know a lot of people that in different types of businesses, but I don't know a lot of architects personally. I mean, what's the architecture business like these days? How's that going?
Yeah, so architecture is great these days. Construction in general is really booming right now. It's an interesting time to be in the business. I think that we're seeing some great projects that are coming along. Our firm is 6 years old, and we're just kind of starting to get the projects that we've been going after for the past 6 years or more.
Yeah, and so the notion of your question about not knowing many architects, that's kind of how the majority of the public feels, is that, you know, architects are on this pedestal, almost unreachable, and it has to do with movies and books and stuff. And we never started our business with that mentality. We started it to be part of the community, to help other people, to help businesses, to help families really grow whatever there is, whether it's their family or their business. And so the whole idea of, you know, the fancy architect who's unapproachable on the street, that is the absolute opposite of the people we want to be.
And I think people too have trouble kind of discerning what architects do, you know.
Right.
And so they come to us with a lot of preconceived ideas, but really what we do is we take your vision, take your dream, and we design a building around that. And so I think that it's a very fun process. We do both residential and commercial architecture, mainly commercial architecture recently. So whether it's a custom residence or multifamily housing, a museum project, we're just there to really listen to what your wants and needs are and to put that on paper in the best way possible.
So designing the look of the building and things like that for a commercial building?
Yeah, but yeah, the look, the function. So we start with function, you know. We start from the ground up on all of our projects, and we really put a ton of thought into how the building is going to work, what's going to make the most sense for the client and the users. We keep the budget in mind, of course. You know, that's a biggie all the time.
Right.
Local municipalities, we work with them closely as well. Local builders, contractors, artists. It's really just
Artists,
a melding of the
yes.
minds.
You know, I consider architects to be kind of artists. And one of the things that, you know, as a community development entity type of business like I do,
Sure.
we focus on helping people come up with a concept that includes branding and marketing. So I think that maybe architecture is an important part of branding, or could be an important part of branding for a business, especially if you're, you know, you're going to have your own building. I have a client right now opening, they're going to build their own building. And
Nice.
they need an architect, don't they?
Oh, of course they do. Yeah, so we believe, you know, I think a lot of people think, oh, I don't need an architect, or oh, I can't afford an architect. But what we do is we come in and we hope to make the process easier for somebody, make it just the whole thing smoother, a better product in the end that ultimately will save you money in construction and the operation of the building. So I would say if you're interested in building or even remodeling a building, your first call should be to an architect. An architect can hook you up with local contractors, local building officials.
I've heard that before. I forgot what project we were working on, but somebody said, "Do you have an architect?" And I said, "No," and they said, "An architect will save you money."
Yeah.
Yes.
That's an interesting concept.
Absolutely, and to speak to your idea about the looks of a building and marketing and how it's all intertwined in what we do, the way we see design and architecture, whether it's a building, a space, a park, what have you, what you actually see is just like the outside of a book. You know, you can't read a book by its cover. What we really focus on inherently is from the inside out. It's about, you know, it's not about the opening paragraph or the ending paragraph. It's really the body. It's really how all the parts and pieces fit together, how all of your employees work, how students move, how people move through a museum. That's what's really important to us. And then the image of the building from a branding standpoint is very important, or from a house standpoint is very important. But at the end of the day, it's really about what all the meat inside of the project that's most important to us.
Yeah, and I think as opposed to thinking about how something looks, we think about how it feels. You know?
Functionality.
Yeah, how it feels, how it functions, just how it performs overall. That's what's really important to us.
Well, that's super awesome. And that's what we say here on Sprout Central all the time, super awesome. But, so I have a space that I think I need an architect. I have an old house that's been added onto multiple times, and I want to turn it into like a center for people to come and maybe they need an office for the day. You know, Sprout
Sure.
Central, we would call the location Sprout Central too. And maybe, you know, have a meeting space there, maybe premiere a film there,
Sure.
things like that. Now, Clarence, I think I'm losing audio here. Oh, here we go. We're back. Our director, I mentioned our director, Jonah Monet, is not on the show today. So, residential architecture, commercial architecture is pretty much all the same thing as far as, I don't know, is that wrong? Is it not all the same thing? But
I wouldn't say
people that, my point is, if you own a house and you just want to make the inside different or better or come up with a new use for it, that's a reason for an architect, right?
Yeah, so it totally depends. You know, I think we have, for residential architecture, we have a great deal of people who come to us and they say, oh, I have a set of house plans I have found online. Could you draw these in the computer for me? And so that sort of thing, it's honestly better if you go to a drafts person, you know, like when you have a good vision of what you want. Sometimes then that's not, you might not need an architect for that. But if you were like, I have a dream about something, but I have no idea how to get there, that would be when you need an architect. You have a vision, but you don't have the path, you know, you don't have that literal set of blueprints.
Right.
That's where we would come in.
Where you have all of these restraints, you have a really tight site, you have an old building that you think is impossible, you have a budget you think is not going to work, you have a board who can't agree on anything, but you have the ultimate goal to build a multifamily housing building, something like that. That is when we thrive, because we're taught from the very beginning of architecture school how to make things synergistically relate. Which,
Right.
So, you take all these weird things that they don't seem like they would ever go together. They don't seem like they would ever mix. And our job is to take all these weird things and find a way to make them communicate in a very logical and pleasing way.
And I think that architecture is a balance of it's art and function, right? So it's the two things meeting together. And so we're always constantly balancing what is beautiful or unique, and then also what is in budget, what's going to be on time, what's going to please the client, what's going to be the best use for a space. So I think it's just this constant sort of like shifting of the sands and this constant balancing act. But you mentioned architecture and art earlier, and one of the reasons that I decided to study architecture, I can't speak for Mark, was because I saw buildings, at least the kind of buildings we wanted to design, as art that you could inhabit. And so that was just, I think architecture is sculpture. You can just walk inside of it.
Yeah.
I definitely need an architect. I'm sold. I'll be it. I want to make an appointment. I have. Do you ever just like go to someone? We're going to play a game with you guys today called What's
Sure.
This? Because I was looking through your social media, and you guys do some cool stuff.
Well,
I mean,
thank
I
you.
love it, and I want
Thank
to
you.
tell you, I've been a fan. Now, here we are. What's this? That's going to be
What's
What's This with Madison and Mark, and let's have a look at some of your work and what
Sure,
you just tell us
that'd be
what it
great.
is. Oh, so you built that? That's
So we
neat.
did. We actually didn't build this. This is
Yes,
on
you
our.
did.
This is on our social media. This is the Ellsworth Kelly Chapel in Austin, Texas. We did not design this, but we love Ellsworth Kelly so much. Our son is named George Ellsworth Talley. So no, this is just a building that we found to be inspirational.
If you find yourself anywhere near Austin, one, it's a wonderful city, but the University of Texas campus is really great. This is a chapel. This is one of his last artworks. It's in the middle of a whole other art museum called the Blanton. The building's incredible, his art's incredible, and we tend to use a lot of his minimalistic, really fun colors, fun shapes and stuff. We like it so much we tend to use some of those ideas in our work, but no, unfortunately, we did not do this.
But an influence.
It's
Oh,
a heavily, it's a
a
Let's
heavy
see the
heavy
inside of that,
influence.
Clarence. And then we'll move on. There's the
Yeah.
inside.
Oh, yeah, it's
And
amazing.
talking about the combination of art and architecture, Ellsworth Kelly was an artist, not an architect, but he designed this building.
Yeah.
I think your work's very artistic.
Well, thank
I
you.
love the styling and the ceiling. I don't even know how to describe it. You guys are the experts. Let's see. Let's play another round. That's us. Okay, we're back, and let's see.